Welcome to another episode of Spelling Bee Ninja, where we make learning fun and accessible. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of economics, exploring how we derive value from the things we consume. If you're curious about making smarter choices and understanding why we value items differently, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe for more free educational content, and let's get started. Let's begin with the concept of utility and its connection to satisfaction. Utility is a fundamental principle in economics, essential for understanding how choices are made. In simple terms, utility refers to the satisfaction or pleasure that a person gains from consuming a good or service. It acts as the driving force behind our purchasing decisions. Whenever you buy something, be it a tasty hamburger that satisfies your hunger or the latest smartphone that keeps you connected, you're seeking to maximize your utility. But why do people value the same items differently? The answer lies in individual experiences, preferences, and needs, which shape our perceptions of utility. For instance, while a textbook may hold immense value for a student, it might be considered useless by someone who has already passed the class. This subjectivity is what makes utility such a rich and complex concept. Now, let's delve deeper into the types of utility: total utility and marginal utility. Total utility refers to the total satisfaction received from consuming a certain number of units of a good or service. Picture yourself enjoying 3 slices of pizza. Your total utility, in this scenario, is the sum of satisfaction you derive from each slice. Marginal utility, in contrast, is the additional satisfaction you gain from consuming one more unit. So, if that third slice of pizza makes you feel particularly happy, that extra satisfaction is your marginal utility. Understanding the difference is crucial because it influences whether you decide to continue consuming the good. Typically, you'll keep going as long as the marginal utility remains positive and greater than the cost of that extra unit. Now, let's talk about a key principle in economics: the law of diminishing marginal utility. This concept states that as you consume more units of a good or service, the additional satisfaction from each successive unit tends to decrease. Imagine quenching your thirst with water. The first glass is refreshing and satisfying, the second is pleasant, but by the third or fourth glass, you might start to feel uncomfortable or even sick. This is because each additional glass doesn't provide the same level of satisfaction as the first. Understanding this principle helps explain why individuals are willing to pay more for the initial units of a product compared to additional ones. For example, a single slice of pizza may cost more per slice than a whole pizza, and that's why we see popular concepts like all-you-can-eat buffets, which can be fun but often lead to diminishing enjoyment. Next, let's tackle a thought-provoking question: can we measure utility? This has puzzled economists for ages. Cardinal utility suggests that utility can be measured in absolute terms, like measuring weight or temperature. You might hear claims such as a pizza provides 10 units of satisfaction and a burger gives you 7. However, most economists today lean towards the concept of ordinal utility. This idea acknowledges that while we can rank our preferences, assigning precise numbers to them is challenging. For instance, you might prefer pizza to burgers, but how much more? The subjective nature of satisfaction means we can compare preferences, yet it's hard to apply an objective scale to something as personal as happiness. Now, let's discuss how utility relates to consumer choices. People typically make purchasing decisions aimed at maximizing their utility. The utility maximization rule suggests that consumers spend their limited budgets in ways that provide them with the most satisfaction. For example, if you are choosing between buying slices of pizza and scoops of ice cream, you would continue buying the option that delivers the greatest satisfaction per dollar until the marginal utility per dollar spent is equal across both items. This trade-off explains why consumers often weigh different products against each other, helping them seek the best value for their money. Another intriguing aspect is why people value the same items differently. The answer, again, lies in subjective utility, which is influenced by personal experiences and needs. Consider a snowboard. It might be exceptionally valuable to someone living close to the mountains for winter sports, while for someone in a tropical location, it's hardly worth a thought. This variance in value leads to exchanges in the market, where people sell items they no longer value highly to someone who appreciates them more. It's a mutual benefit resulting from differing personal valuations of goods. Moving on, there's a compelling distinction between utility derived from experiences versus material possessions. Research in behavioral economics indicates that spending on experiences like vacations or concerts often yields more prolonged satisfaction than purchases of material goods. This phenomenon occurs because experiences typically create lasting memories, strengthen relationships, and become integral to our identities. In contrast, we often grow accustomed to new possessions, leading to a decline in sophistication or enjoyment over time. Understanding this divergence can inform us about prioritizing experiences over things, ultimately leading to a richer and more fulfilling life. However, it's important to note that utility isn't always a positive concept. Sometimes, consuming more can lead to what's known as negative utility or disutility. Think about indulgent desserts at a party. The first piece of cake is delightful, the second is enjoyable, but too much can result in feeling sick, resulting in a decrease in overall satisfaction. Realizing that there's a point where consuming more can lead to adverse effects encourages us to think critically about our consumption patterns, highlighting that moderation is vital. Finally, let's reflect on how understanding these concepts can enhance our daily decisions. By grasping the law of diminishing marginal utility, you might reconsider bulk purchases of items you won't fully utilize. The utility maximization principle equips you to allocate your budget wisely, ensuring you spend on things that genuinely enhance your happiness. Recognizing that utility arises from diverse sources can lead to choices that genuinely support your well-being. In this episode, we explored the connections between utility and satisfaction, delving into how these concepts shape our economic decisions. We discussed total versus marginal utility, the importance of the law of diminishing marginal utility, and whether we can measure utility at all. We also touched on consumer choice and the subjectivity of utility. Finally, we highlighted the difference between the utility derived from experiences compared to material goods, urging awareness of the concept of negative utility. By understanding these concepts, you can make more informed choices that enhance your happiness. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of utility and satisfaction. Remember, by exploring economic concepts like these, you gain valuable insights into making better decisions for your life. If you enjoyed this episode and want to continue learning, subscribe to Spelling Bee Ninja for more educational content. Together, let's keep exploring and discovering new ideas.